And here comes our 2v2 match. This is going to be Rev Dirk. His ally is going to be Mystical, and Rev Dirk and Mystical are going to be playing for McMaster University. They're looking to do some damage here and win this game for their team, and their opponents are going to be I'm Jew Dictator. Oh, that's funny. And his ally is going to be Tony Cheese, and they are playing for Harvard University. And of course there are no name badges here, as that would take 50% of the screen and we won't be able to see anything at all. Rev Dirk gonna be building his buildings back. Of course it is a PvP or PvT or TVP, whatever you want to call it. It is a mirror matchup, sort of. And looks like Jew Dictator is going to be throwing down a proxy pylon, perhaps going for 2-gate rush or some sort of funky cheese like that. Looks like Tony Cheese, his name is Cheese, so we'll see what he decides to do. Maybe throw down 6 Raxes and go for it. His ally here still waiting for those minerals. Looks like he's just going to be proxying a pretty normally timed gateway, and Rev Dirk is going to be able to come in here and see that everything is out of place, and he's going to be throwing up his own gateway and perhaps even a forge to help defend. Looks like 2 gateways coming up for I'm Jew Dictator, and over here 2 barracks coming up for Mystical to help defend against this rush. Tony Cheese here, he's definitely gearing up to do something funky, as he is not throwing down his gas. And there it is, his barracks coming up for Tony Cheese in the middle of the map. Very characteristic of players in 2v2, doing a lot of cheese. The gateways do finish up, 2 pylons powering them as well. Looks like a couple of SCVs coming out here to help wall off his allies' ramp. It looks like Zealots now being chrono boosted. No chrono boost over here on these Zealots. Rev Dirk does need to get that out as soon as possible. Looks like Marines are now being rallied across the field, and this second barracks is about to finish. And another barracks coming up over here for Mystical, so everyone is cheesing right now. Bunker also on the way for Mystical. We'll see if they are able to hold this off. They need to hold this off in order to take it up for their team, going up to 2-1. And of course Harvard wants to take the lead for themselves as well. A bunker coming up by Mystical over here, and he will be able to load that in. It looks like a bunker is on the way for Tony Cheese. Looks like his Marine will be able to ward away that probe, and the Zealots are now headed up the ramp. The wall does sort of close up for Mystical. Looks like the Zealots marching around to the other side. He does have an almost even amount of Zealots here, and the bunker is complete. And we'll see if they decide to go for the Terran player over here. Looks like additional barracks are on the way for Cheese, for Tony Cheese, of course, and he does have his orbital, which will allow him to cheese for an infinite amount of time. And over here, Rev Dirk is going to be getting up his cybernetics core. His tech is going to be infinitely better than his opponent's, which is now grabbing the gas. And over here, these 2 barracks will be able to rally units out continuously for quite a bit of time, especially with those mules out on the field. Mystical skimping on that Marine production just a little bit. And Jew Dictator just hanging out with his Zealots, getting a couple more of those guys out. And it looks like over here there is an SCV for Mystical. We'll see if it decides to do anything sneaky over here. The Cyber Core is on the way for Jew Dictator. And the Warp Gate research being researched by Rev Dirk. Looks like there was a little bit of a push here. A push out here. Looks like the bunker will fall. The Marines coming down the ramp. Looks like the Zealots were completely out of position. One Zealot does get up in the face, but the units are superior for the McMaster team. All the Zealots getting ripped to shreds by the Zealots of Rev Dirk. Looks like the Tony Cheese's barracks are now exposed in the open and forced to lift and retreat. Looks like he will be losing both of those buildings over here, the Zealots. and the Stalkers now headed to this location will be able to pick off the pylons, and a single Zealot getting picked off as well. The two barracks gonna continue their float across the map, and alright, we'll take that for what he said. You're from Harvard, man. Rev Dirk doing a GG here from Rev Dirk. GG from Tony Cheese. Looks like Tony Cheese has finally left the game, and this game does go to McMaster University, and we're going to be McMaster University is going to be up 2-1 versus Harvard, and we're going to be headed to game 4 here in just a moment.